Hey, and welcome to this episode of the Hustle Report by Profit Tool. Today, we are doing a really critical deep dive. We're looking at a side hustle that, well, it turns practical skills directly into some serious extra bank.
Yeah, we're talking about starting a handiwork side hustle.
Exactly. Repairs, installations, routine maintenance, the kind of stuff homeowners and businesses always need help with.
Right. And our mission today really is to give you that tactical blueprint, not just the glossy overview, but the core steps.
Yeah, the nuts and bolts.
Exactly. The necessary legal stuff, the crucial pricing data you're going to need to launch this thing quickly, safely, and, well, effectively.
And it feels like the timing is pretty good, right? The opportunity seems huge right now.
Oh, definitely. Homeowners are putting serious money into maintenance improvements.
But whether you're already kind of leaning towards, say, carpentry, or maybe you're more of a general home fixes person.
Doesn't matter much at the start. The demand is there. It's actually outpacing the supply of reliable, skilled people in a lot of areas.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit then. We know the goal is income, obviously, extra cash.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes handiwork fundamentally more appealing than maybe driving for a rideshare or something? What are the real draws here, personally and logistically?
Well, what's really interesting, I think, is the level of control you get over your own work life. It boils down to 5 main upsides we see.
Right.
First and second are kind of linked. It's flexibility and independence.
Right.
You're choosing your hours. You pick the projects that fit, your schedule, your life. And crucially, you are your own boss.
That's the big one for many.
Totally. You set the rates. You decide who you work for. You dictate the scope of the job. That's real independence.
Love that independence. But, okay, that also means you're independently responsible for setting things up properly. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll get into that.
Before we hit the money side, though, let's talk about avoiding, the soul-crushing routine. That's benefit number 3 you mentioned. Variety.
Yes. The variety of tasks. You're just not doing the same thing over and over again.
Keeps it interesting.
It really does. One day you might be hanging pictures, maybe putting up some shelves.
Yeah.
The next day you're troubleshooting some tricky appliance install or fixing a leaky tap.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, keeps your brain sharp. Definitely helps prevent burnout,
Mm-hmm. And that variety, I guess, ties into the 4th benefit, the money.
It does, yeah. The income potential. Because the work is skilled, it's tangible, the earnings can actually be pretty substantial, often more than you'd make in other flexible hustles.
Because you're trading skill, not just time.
Precisely. You're trading time for skill, not just time for, being somewhere.
Right.
And then there's the 5th benefit. And this one, honestly, you can't overstate it. The immediate personal satisfaction.
Seeing the result.
Exactly. You walk away from pretty much every job leaving something visibly better. You fixed that broken cabinet, you painted that wall.
Yeah.
It's instant gratification, really, for you and for the client. It feels good.
That sense of accomplishment, yeah, that's huge. That's the fuel, maybe. But now we got to talk about, the actual execution.
Reality check.
Right. Independence is great, but like we said, it means you got to set things up independently. The initial setup, especially the less glamorous stuff, is critical.
Yeah.
So what are those sort of cold, hard operational things a new hustler absolutely has to nail down?
Okay. This is really where you shift gears. You go from being maybe a talented hobbyist to a proper professional service provider. We identified 3 really big operational steps. And honestly, the first 2 are kind of non-negotiable if you want to do this safely and actually scale it up.
Okay, what's number 1?
Step 1 sounds simple, but it's key. Identify and define your skills.
Be honest with yourself.
Brutally honest. What can you actually do confidently and legally, which we'll get to? Are you just general maintenance? Or do you have a specialty like maybe tile work or painting?
Because that affects everything else.
Everything. Your marketing, who you target, and definitely your pricing, which we'll cover in a bit.
Gotcha. Okay, step 2. This sounds like the big one that maybe separates the serious players from people just testing the waters.
I think so. It's established the necessary legal and risk mitigation structure.
Insurance and liability.
Exactly. Look, that $100 or $120 an hour rate we might talk about later, that doesn't just buy your skill.
Right.
It buys peace of mind. For the client and for you, it buys legal protection. As soon as you take money for work in someone else's home or property,
You need insurance.
you need general liability insurance, minimum. It protects you if heaven forbid you accidentally flood a kitchen, damage some expensive flooring, whatever.
It's not optional if you want to be professional.
Not if you plan to scale or look professional, no. It's a must-have.
Okay, but here's a question then. Insurance costs money up front, right?
It does.
So for someone just starting out, maybe just doing a couple of jobs to see if they like it,
Yeah.
isn't that a big barrier? Why not just, skip it for the first few?
Honestly, the risk is just way too high. Think about it. Imagine the cost of having to replace, say, custom kitchen cabinets you damaged, or worse, fixing damage from an electrical mishap you caused.
Compared to the insurance cost.
Exactly. Compared to maybe a few $100s a year for a basic liability policy, it's just not worth the gamble.
Makes sense.
Plus, think about this. The clients who paid the best rates, like property managers, businesses, even discerning homeowners, they often won't even hire you without seeing proof of insurance.
So it's a gatekeeper to better jobs, too.
It really is. Setting up as a sole proprietor or maybe an LLC is relatively straightforward in most places, but that insurance, that's the real signal of professionalism.
Okay, that's a crucial point. Really addressing those tactical things people might overlook. So legal structure sorted, skills defined. What's step 3?
Step 3 is what keeps the whole thing going long term. Deliver exceptional service and professionalism.
The basics, but essential.
Totally. High quality work, obviously, but also good communication. Showing up when you say you will. Being respectful of people's homes.
Cleaning up after yourself.
Yes. All of that. These are the things that get you repeat business and, maybe even more importantly, referrals.
Word of mouth.
It's absolutely key in handiwork. Trust is huge when you're letting a stranger into your house to work on things.
No doubt. Okay, let's shift gears. Let's talk money.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting for a lot of folks. How do you set rates? Rates that reflect that professionalism, that skill, the insurance you just paid for, but without, pricing yourself out of the local market right away.
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the honest answer is rates vary wildly. Location is huge, your specific expertise, the complexity of the job.
Sure.
But based on the data we've looked at, we can give you some pretty solid estimated ranges to start thinking about when you put together quotes.
Okay, let's hear them. What about general handyman stuff?
Yeah.
Basic fixes, maybe assembling furniture, light yard work?
For that kind of general service, you're probably looking at somewhere in the range of, say, $25 to $50 per hour.
25 to 50. Okay.
But specialization, like we talked about, that's where the ceiling starts to lift, sometimes dramatically.
Right. So like painting.
For basic painting services, the typical range is more like $20 to $50 per hour.
And carpentry, if you've got those skills and tools.
Yeah, for carpentry work, you're generally looking higher, maybe $30 to $70 per hour. It just requires more specialized tools, more precision.
Okay, and this is where that legal chat we had really clicks in financially, right?
Yeah.
Because moving into licensed trades like plumbing or electrical.
Exactly. The rates there reflect not just the expertise, but also the licenses, the certifications, the higher liability involved.
So plumbing, fixing leaks, installing fixtures.
Yeah, if you're doing actual plumbing services, knowing about codes, drains, supply lines, that hourly rate jumps up. Estimated range is probably $50 to $100 per hour.
50 to 100. Wow.
And then electrical services. Because of the inherent risk, the specialization needed, often permits are required. That commands the highest rates usually.
What are we talking there?
Typically ranging from $50 an hour up to maybe $120 per hour, sometimes even more for complex diagnostics.
50 to 120. Okay. That's a significant jump.
It is.
But let's go back to painting for a second. That range, $20 to $50, seems quite wide.
It is, yeah.
If someone's really trying to run this as a profitable hustle, is $20 an hour actually worth it? Once you factor in travel, maybe grabbing supplies, insurance.
That's a really excellent point. And honestly, that $20 end is often just about getting your foot in the door.
Like building a portfolio.
Exactly. Pricing yourself into the market to get some experience, get some reviews, maybe for really simple, high-volume stuff where you're super efficient.
But not sustainable long-term.
Probably not for most. The minute you prove you're reliable, your quality is good, you need to start climbing that scale pretty quickly. That minimum rate should just be a launch pad. True profitability, covering all your costs, insurance, travel time, tool maintenance, admin, that probably starts closer to the $40 an hour mark for something like painting, maybe even higher depending on your area.
Got it. That makes sense. You have to factor in all the costs of doing business.
You do. And, if we connect this whole discussion back to the bigger picture, we need to balance this earning potential with Well, a bit of a reality check.
Okay.
You need to be ready for the challenges, so you don't jump into this, get excited, and then feel completely overwhelmed a month later.
Yeah, the reality check is vital for actually sticking with it. Longevity.
Exactly.
So what are those potential downsides or challenges that a new handiwork hustler really needs to be prepared for?
We should probably talk about 5 key challenges. First one's obvious, maybe, but important. The physical demands.
It's manual labor?
It absolutely is.
Huh.
You'll be lifting things, bending, crouching, working in awkward spots. Good safety gear, knee pads, back support if needed, proper lifting technique. It's not optional.
Don't sacrifice your body for a quick buck.
Please don't. Ignoring that physical wear and tear is a recipe for short-term gain and long-term pain.
Okay, physical demands. What's next?
Second is time management. This gets tricky, especially as a side hustle.
Juggling everything.
Yeah. You have to learn to balance the actual project time plus travel time plus time spent quoting jobs, buying materials, doing paperwork, all alongside your main job or other commitments.
Requires serious organization.
Superb prioritization skills, definitely.
Okay. That kind of feeds into the third challenge, doesn't it? Client acquisition.
It does. Building that initial client base, it's usually a slow burn, not an explosion.
Can't just hang out a shingle and wait.
Not usually, no.
Right.
You need a proactive strategy, consistent networking, maybe local flyers, and definitely using online platforms actively to build up a steady workflow. It takes effort.
We'll talk platforms in a sec. What's challenge number 4?
Fourth, you got to think about seasonal fluctuations.
Yeah. Weather dependent.
Can be, depending on what you offer and where you live. Demand for things like deck repairs, exterior painting, maybe landscaping help, that might spike in warmer months.
And then slow right down in winter.
Could do,
Yeah.
yeah. So planning your workload and, crucially, your finances to handle those potentially leaner periods is really
Oh,
important.
smart. Okay, number 5.
And the final one, maybe the most critical from a reputation standpoint, skill requirements and honesty.
Know your limits.
Exactly. Don't let your ambition or maybe your ego write checks that your actual skills can't cash.
Especially with the risky stuff.
Absolutely. Risking your reputation, not to mention safety, by tackling complex electrical work or structural repairs if you're not truly qualified. That's the fastest way to end your hustle.
They potentially face huge liability.
Huge liability. Just be honest. Only take on projects you know you can deliver safely and effectively. Build skills gradually.
It's really solid practical advice. Okay, so let's tackle that third challenge, client acquisition, head on. We need to use the tools available, leverage digital platforms to find that consistent work, especially early on. What are the go-to platforms? Where should people be looking?
Yeah, the good news here is there are dedicated marketplaces out there. They're specifically designed to connect people who need jobs done with skilled folks like you.
Perfect. Let's list them out. But maybe also talk briefly about how to actually win on these platforms. It's not just about signing up, is it?
Definitely not. Okay, first up, a popular one is TaskRabbit.
Right, seen that one?
It's great, especially for starting out. Clients post specific, often smaller tasks. You, as the tasker or handyman, browse those jobs and apply, often putting in a quick bid or your hourly rate.
So how do you stand out on TaskRabbit?
Good profile photos are key. Clear, professional, and hyper-specific descriptions of what you do well. The platform's algorithm tends to favor people with high ratings and fast response times.
So those first few jobs are crucial.
Absolutely crucial. Nail those, get good reviews, and the system starts working for you.
Okay, TaskRabbit. What else?
Then you've got Thumbtack. This one operates a bit more like a professional marketplace, maybe for slightly larger jobs sometimes.
How's it different?
You create a really detailed profile, showcasing your skills, experience, maybe photos of past work. Then, instead of you browsing jobs constantly, you receive specific work requests from potential clients who match your listed specialties.
So the leads come to you, kind of.
More or less, yeah. Responding quickly and professionally to those leads is key on Thumbtack.
Got it. What about Home Advisor? Hear that name a lot, too.
Yeah, Home Advisor is another big player. It's really focused on connecting homeowners with pre-screened professionals, often for more significant projects, think of renovations, bigger repairs.
How does that work for the handyman?
You sign up, get verified, and then you can receive leads directly from homeowners in your area looking for your specific skills. Often, you might pay a small fee per lead.
Ah, so you need a good system for quoting and closing those leads to make it pay off.
Exactly. Your conversion rate on those leads matters a lot with Home Advisor.
Okay, makes sense. Then there's Angie's List, now often just called Angie.
Right. Angie, or Angie's List, built its reputation heavily on customer reviews. It's seen as a trusted source for finding local service providers.
So reviews are everything there.
Pretty much. Having a strong profile, actively encouraging happy clients to leave reviews, and responding professionally to all feedback, even negative, that's vital for building that local trust and credibility on Angie.
Good point. And finally, the old standby.
Yeah, don't forget good old Craigslist, especially the gigs section.
Still relevant for handiwork.
Can be, yeah.
Yep.
Especially for finding quick, immediate local jobs, often cash on the spot type things. Perfect for filling unexpected gaps in your schedule.
But maybe vet those clients a bit more carefully.
Always a good idea on Craigslist, yeah.
Yeah.
Meet in public first if you're unsure. Clarify the job scope clearly up front.
Okay, so TaskRabbit, Thumbtack, HomeAdvisor, Angie, Craigslist. Quite a few options.
Plenty to get started.
And the common thread, the key takeaway across all of them, seems to be professionalism, right?
Absolutely. It wins every time. Creating a compelling profile, good photos, clear descriptions, listing your skills accurately, and then consistently delivering excellent customer service.
Getting those good ratings.
Getting those good ratings, responding quickly, that's really what separates the people earning top dollar from those just scrambling for the next small job.
Totally makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so bringing this all together then, starting a successful handiwork side hustle, it really seems to boil down to a few core things. Understanding your actual skills, first off. Getting that necessary legal structure, especially the insurance, sorted out early.
Crucial.
Defining a basic plan, setting competitive rates based on your experience and location, actively promoting yourself on these online platforms, and then just maintaining exceptional service and staying organized.
That's a pretty solid summary. And, if we look maybe just a little bit beyond that initial launch phase, since handiwork is all about building real, tangible trust and credibility within a specific neighborhood or local area, it kind of raises an interesting strategic question for you, the listener, to think about.
Okay, what's that?
Does establishing that local credibility, that reliability as the go-to handyman, does that open the door for you to easily stack other related neighborhood service hustles on top?
Ooh, that is an interesting strategic connection. Like if you're already known and trusted.
Yeah. If you already have a reputation for being reliable, you're showing up at the same houses maybe semi-regularly for repairs or maintenance.
How easy is it then to pivot that relationship?
Exactly. Pivot that established trust into offering other things people need locally. Things with maybe low overhead, like mowing lawns in the summer, or maybe offering gutter cleaning in the fall, or pressure washing.
Services that operate on the exact same model, really. Local service, client management.
Precisely the same principles. So, a successful handiwork hustle, it might not just be a side job.
It could be the foundation.
It could be the trusted anchor for building a whole portfolio of local, neighborhood-focused services that you scale up over time. That's the potential maybe you're really building towards.
That's a great final thought. Building an ecosystem, almost. Fantastic stuff.
Oh.
Well, that's it for this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.